What's going on, guys? My name is Takyanex, and today I have a brand new Apex Legends video covering over the brand new patch. Now, in this brand new patch, we're going to be having a number of weapon changes and character changes. Alright, so now we're going to get into start talking about the character changes. Now, one of the big character changes that are going to be happening is going to be with CAUSTIC. Now, CAUSTIC is going to have a brand new passive perk that they have added into the game. And now, it is not his passive ability or his passive perk, and actually I'm going to throw this out there, CAUSTIC and Gibraltar are both getting these passive perks. Now, these passive perks are called Fortify, and basically what that does is reduce damage taken by 10%. Now, the reason why they did this for CAUSTIC and Gibraltar is because of the fact that they have the Now, the biggest deal about this patch is the factor that it's 10% overall, which is not too much of a big deal, but when you throw out the factor of shields, that's kind of when the effect kind of goes into play. I have not played the game since the patch came out, which it did just come out today, which is going to be April 16th. But now, I don't necessarily think it's going to be that much of a big deal, but I am kind of afraid to see if it's going to be affected too much by the shields, but I highly doubt it. Now, guys, getting right back into CAUSTIC's changes, I want to start talking about his gas damage. Now, his gas damage is going to be increased from 1 to 4% now, for 4 damage per second now, which I think is fine. 1 damage I thought was a little too less. I mean, CAUSTIC's ability is supposed to be a trap. It's supposed to trap your enemies, which it does do a lot of effect in terms of, disorientating them where they can't see nearly as well and, dealing damage as it is already, but I also didn't think that it dealt too much damage. So I think that this going from 1 tick to 4 tick per second is now a better change for him. I usually have a friend who plays CAUSTIC and he does really good with CAUSTIC, but I definitely think that CAUSTIC needs changes, and I think they're stepping in the right direction for that. Now, before I move off of CAUSTIC, I do want to talk about his last thing that he's getting changed. His ultimate throw distance is going to be increased from 38 meters to 33 meters, which, once again, like I said, I think that he needs the buff. Honestly, I think CAUSTIC can be a very good player if played correctly, but on top of it, him having this buff is going to help CAUSTIC players a lot, and I'm actually really happy for it. Now, next we're going to move on to Gibraltar's changes. Now, Gibraltar's changes is not nearly as different from what's going on with the Fortify thing happening, with the damage, overall damage is getting reduced from 10% is one of his buffs, but another one of his changes is his gun shield health is going to be increased from 50 health to 75 health. Now, I'm actually okay with this change as well. Gibraltar's shield I've had some problems with in the past, but it has not been too bad or too game changing. I mean, he is supposed to be a defender, and I feel like this is going to help him a lot actually, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. Now, on to the juicy stuff, guys. They're going to be changing a crap ton of the snipers now. Now, how I feel about this is I kind of feel strong concerning the factor that I use a lot of the snipers, so I'm kind of feeling strong about the snipers, but I'm going to share those with you guys, and you guys tell me what you think. Now, the G7 Scout, the Triple Take, and the Longbow DMR are going to get lower leg shot damage reduction from 25% to 10%. Now, this isn't really a buff. This is kind of sort of a nerf. Basically, what they're doing is they're taking the damage reduction from hitting in the legs or in the lower part of the body and reducing that damage a little bit down. Now, they're kind of compensating with that, which making the weapons more accurate. For an example, the reduced base weapon sway is going to be reduced by 33%, and the speed of the sway is going to also be reduced by 25%. So, in exchange for that, I guess they're making the weapons a little bit more accurate for say, so I'm kind of looking forward to this change a little bit more. I do feel like some of the weapons were already extremely accurate as it is already, kind of like the Triple Take and the GS Scout, but with that being said, I mean, I'm okay with stepping in the right direction with these changes. Now, more specifically for the Longbow DMR, now this is the biggest thing that is actually affecting me. I think the Longbow DMR is a great weapon, and I think it's kind of fine where it's at, but the firing rate is a little low. So they have changed the firing rate from 1.2 to 1.6, which I actually am okay with. Actually, it's not too bad of a firing rate change, but it's probably going to be something that you guys are going to notice. Now, also, on top of that, they're going to be increasing the mag size from 5 to 6 by default, and then from common mag extender is going to be 6 to 8, and then the rare is going to be 8 to 10, and then the epic is going to be 10 to 12. Now, the way I feel about this is kind of strong on the other hand. This is the only sniper rifle in the game. Well, the GS1 Scout and this is the only two sniper rifles in the game that can increase their size. So I'm actually not too worried about this. I think that this change is actually okay. With changing the rate of fire, I think it kind of deserves to have a little bit more ammo capacity. Now moving on to our next weapon, we're going to be talking about the Havoc here. Now the Havoc is kind of a big deal with their change. Now they're going to be changing this gun up a lot actually. So let me just talk this through you guys. Okay, so we got the increased base mag size is going to be increased from 25 to 32 rounds. The charge beam is going to be reduced the cost from 5 to 4 per shot. And then the increased close range damage is going to be from 55 to 60 per second. And then the increased damage at range is going to be 45 to 50. Now the close range damage fall off is also going to be increased from 35 meters to 75 meters, and the range damage fall off is going to be increased from 75 meters to 125 meters. Now this, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it too much. I really don't like the Havoc as it is already. I personally, it's just not a weapon for me, so that's not a gun that I like to use. But for you guys, this might be more of a bigger deal for you guys. I don't really like the Havoc too much, like I said, so I don't really have too much of effect on this. But down to it for the Wingman, we're going to have reduced magazine size from 6 to 4, and the common mag extender from 8 to 6, and then the rare mag extender from 9 to 8, and then the epic extender is going to be from 12 to 10. Now I actually think that this is kind of good for the Wingman. I think the Wingman had a lot of shots as it is already, and the gun did increase damage over time like most weapons do, and with the skull piercer, this is going to be a very devastating weapon to play in this game now, so I'm actually pretty excited for that change as well. Alright guys, now for the Spitfire, I don't have that much good news for this gun. Now if you guys use this gun a lot, actually this gun is getting kind of a bigger type of nerf. Now they're reducing the base damage from 20 to 18 per hit, and now the magazine extenders are going to be reduced quite a bit. Actually the common mag extender is going to be reduced from 45 to 40 rounds, and then the rare mag extender is going to be reduced from 55 to 45, and then the epic mag is going to be reduced from 60 to 55. Now I'm not too fond really of the Spitfire, so I really don't know how this is going to affect too much. I don't really have a problem with the Spitfire as much, and as you guys can see, I'm actually using the Spitfire in this game clip, but I really don't use the gun that much, and I really don't have a problem with it, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to affect most people with the Spitfire. If you guys use the Spitfire, let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about the Spitfire change, but that is the Spitfire change. Now the next change we're going to be getting is going to be adjusting a lot of the gold variant on the gold variant attachments on some of the guns. Now the gold Havoc is now going to become equipped automatically with a turbocharger and with a 1 to 2 time variable hollow sight, which I think is going to be very good actually. Once again, with this new Havoc change, I'm kind of okay with it. I don't really like the Havoc too much, like I've said, but I'm kind of okay with they're going in the direction they're going with the Havoc. Now for the gold 301, it's now going to have a 1 to 2 variable hollow sight, which I actually agree with a lot, because when I found the gold 301, I hated the sight on it so much, but I love the 301 a lot, but I hated the sight, and so when I found that they had that sight on there, I literally just gave it to another friend because I just couldn't stand the 2 to 4 times scope that I think came with the gun. Now for the golden Wingman, this is going to have a digital threat now instead of what it did have, so I kind of agree with this, because when I use the Wingman anyway, I already just try to find the digital threat and try to equip it on there as soon as possible, so this is going to be very nice for the Wingman, especially with the new change in the mag size. Now, without further ado, there's going to be one last change to the game that's going to be kind of cool, actually. Now, the jump ship speed is going to be increased from 50%. So not the drop ship, I'm sorry about that, but the jump ship. So the ship that is, the ship that you fly in at first is going to be increased by 50% now. So now we're going to be moving 50% faster, which is going to be kind of a big deal. They kind of felt like the drop ship was a little too slow, and I could sort of kind of agree, but I don't really have too much of a big deal with this. I'm actually kind of excited because moving faster is going to be nice, because the map is pretty big as it is already, so moving faster will be a nice change. Now, without further ado, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry about the stutters and everything in it. I really do apologize, but this is going to be one of my series that I'm going to do on my channel. I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends, so I'm going to start following the game as much as I possibly can now. So you guys can probably rely on me for the news purposes. But it has been CAUSTIC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and peace.